There you go.
Starfield?
Well, that's coming
That
out next year, so
that's
fine.
Elder Scrolls in space.
There is future hope. That is a good point. Okay, yeah.
It is time once again for the main story quest, where the Trinity Bros give you their MMO opinions.
Our opinions. Okay, MMO opinions. So, those who've been watching my stream the last couple of weeks, last couple of days, whatever, I've been talking a lot about virtual relationships. So, I thought about the fact that we, who are MMO players, we mentioned him last week about friends. Okay, and we mentioned about having friends on game and people we met friends and are totally friends for life on. Okay, and what I want to do is it's not about virtual relationship per se, it's about virtual gaming. Okay, how much is too much playing an MMO? A balance in real life. I've been saying the fact that virtual relationships are fine, that real life are better. God meant us to be in a relationship in real life. Okay, so that's where it's more important. Getting off the computer, getting off the out of your chair, getting out into the environment is to me much better. A balance of real life, So I want to know: is there too much? If there's too much playing MMO, I know for myself personally, in my story, but I did play too much MMO. I had kids. Okay, I played way too much. Raids in Dark Age of Camelot were literally 8 hours long on a Saturday. My kids are playing around, having their own fun things, right? Saturdays when we're not in school, could have been a family thing, but I was raiding, so I was having fun doing that. I would at times be sitting over here and watch my kids outside playing while I'm doing raids and playing games. So I'm watching them, enjoying their antics in the backyard, but I'm not engaging with them. I did spend time with them, and of course, thank God, he took me down and he took me away from gaming to the point where I then reset my life, my boundaries. So I'm just wondering if there's too much gaming, and if you could put a value on it, what is too much? Like, is it like 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours? I don't know. Is it like a certain amount per week, per day, whatever it is? Since Solomon has abandoned us, I will toss it to SirJahzeal first.
Yeah, screw you guys.
Okay. Man, it's different. Everybody's situation is going to be different, and I don't think that you could or should put a time on it. I mean, I guess if you were being really super anal about it, you could put a numerical time in there. But when it starts interfering with real life priorities is when you should recognize and back off, um, and start making restrictions for yourself. Now that it's going to be different for everyone because we're all in different situations. Some of us we have an empty nest. Our children have grown up, they've moved out. It's just us, or it's just us and a spouse, and we're retired.
Or none of those.
There's people that are not married, don't have any children, they're just working. There's people that are still in high school. There's people in college, seminary, whatever. We're all in these different situations. But when you are neglecting sleep, eating, uh, hygiene, personal hygiene, work, calling in sick. If you're taking vacation time to play the new whatever that's coming out, that's okay. But if you're calling in sick because I stayed up too late playing World of Warcraft, or World of Warcraft's patch 9 point whatever's coming out today, and yeah, I'm just gonna call in. Things like that. Yep. Then that shows you need to cut back. We just got to be responsible adults here and know when it's becoming a problem, when it's getting in the way of taking, over your life, and you're neglecting those things. You're neglecting church. You're not, you're staying up late and going straight to bed afterwards, and you're not praying. You're not reading the Bible. You're not meditating on God's word. You're neglecting meeting together with other fellow believers. You're neglecting like I said, your hygiene, your family, your real life friends. They're calling up and saying, "Hey, I want to go watch the new Marvel movie," and you're like, "Nah, I'm just gonna game. I'm just gonna play my game."
Once again,
You know,
the main story quest.
Oh, main
Oh,
story
wait,
quest.
wait. I'm grooming my. Oh, I'm hygiene. Okay, my hygiene. Okay, sorry.
Yep, there you go.
I'm being
See,
very
you
nasty.
gotta make time to brush your beard. It's very important to keep it clean
That whole
and
joke was
brushed neat.
the joke was all blown by me.
It's okay.
Good job, Dad. Good job.
Yeah, well, at least I'm not in
So
the bathroom.
I say all that having been in that place in the past. It was mostly with EverQuest, but it kind of snuck
Guilty
in
too.
during the early years of World of Warcraft. And I see CEO of Awesome is in with us in chat. He can attest to that. I kept my hygiene up and I went to work. I did those things. But anytime that him or any of my other friends were like, hey, let's go to church. Hey, let's go see this movie. Hey, let's go to this concert or whatever, I was like, no, I've got this dragon I got to kill tonight with my guild, or no, dude, I have to wait for this rare to spawn, and it only spawns once a week, and I have to be here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There were things like that in that game, and that's I had to learn. I had to learn the hard way. Eventually those requests for me to come along to friend stuff, to barbecues, to movies, to concerts, to church and things stopped. And I went, man, I haven't heard from my friends in like 6 months. Uh-oh. This is not good.
Yep.
Yeah. So I would say it's a self-reflection thing, but also if your friends and family are approaching you saying, we love you and we miss you, it's time to that's too much, man. You're on the computer too much.
Right.
And it may not be just gaming. It may be YouTube and Twitch and Instagram and all that other stuff combined with it that are keeping you glued to these dumb things, and all this other, your tablets and all that stuff too count. We gotta we gotta get off of those electronics once in a while. Yeah. You gotta get off the electronics and spend time with real life living people, because we're only on this earth for a short time.
I know.
And you've got to love your friends, you got to love your family and spend time with them.
Well, you mentioned, because the funny thing is that my son-in-law asked me if I was doing anything tonight. I said, yeah, I'm doing my show tonight, because out and fly up the fire pit. Like, I felt kind of guilty. I'm like, I already made this plan for you guys to do the show. I'm like,
You chose poorly, Dad.
But I told him I'm free Friday, so let's do that. It was a beautiful the Northwest. Yeah. I don't know. Is Solomon ready to actually answer the question too? His opinion? He's back.
No, I've been hearing the entire thing.
Oh, but
I would respond off in the distance. I'm gonna play a little bit. No, I'm gonna play a little bit devil's advocate. It's not necessarily something I really believe in. Otherwise, I'd probably just would say ditto. But anyways, I think it depends on what you're trying to do. I think if you're somebody who is dependent, if you're a content creator, let's say you're Asmongold, right? And this is your job. This is the way you make your money, like your living, which is clearly all of us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think
we are all making our living here on Twitch.
Oh, absolutely. We're just
the
such
Benjamins,
huge influence. Able to convince people to quit WoW and start playing. Anyways, but see, I'm actually arguing against my own argument. Now, I'm taking one example and using that as a blanket example for the rest of us. But at the same time, Rome wasn't built in a day. Therefore, Asmongold wasn't built in a day. So I don't know. I'm coming at this as a content creator perspective. Now, there's a lot of naysayers. Like, if somebody went up to me and said, "Hey, I'm going to be the next Ninja," well, Ninja's not the most popular anymore. I'm going to be the next XQC, whatever. I'd look at him and I hit him over the side of the head and be like, "What the f are you doing?" Right? And what if he does become the next XQC or Ninja or whatever? Good for him. But at the same time, I think that you have to have a reasonable journey to get to the top. Not to the top per se, but a reasonable journey to be a content creator playing video games and stuff. Because I think a lot of us, we actually do play games for just sheer playing video games, right? But if it gets to the point where this is the way you're making money, I mean, not only are you like in the top 1%, um, yeah, I think you would have to at a certain point it becomes an obligation to play those games, right? So because there's a certain expectation that your fans or your subscribers or whatever you want to call them expect from you. Now, obviously, I think there needs to be a balance. Um, like if the way you're creating content is interfering with everything that SirJahzeal said, yeah, fine. I think you do have to take a break and kind of take a step back. But I do kind of see a double standard because not many people are necessarily going to apply that same logic if you work at a nine to five job. If you were doing a paycheck, but once you step out of that and go forge your own way and become an entrepreneur, then all of a sudden it's like they kind of judge you in a different standard. It feels like because you're playing. Oh, you're just playing video games now. That as if like that. You know, but again, as I said earlier, different. I'm taking a sliver of what people are trying to do or want to do even and applying it to the rest of us, which isn't fair. I get that that's a false equivalency, but again, to try to make things interesting, I'm just trying to think of different ways of playing devil's advocate in this case.
You have a good point because the fact that if someone is making this as their full-time job, literally this is their income. I was talking about the fact that when someone has their priorities in life, I'm going to talk about this on my Christian streamer conversations on Sunday. His priorities: God first, your spouse second, your kids third, and then maybe family fourth. Okay, but then someone is your job, your occupation. Okay, below that is your streaming somewhere. Now, if your streaming is your job, you need to make sure you do it right and you don't spend so much time, that you do your 9 to 5 or your 40 hours a week and, boop, and you're off. Okay, because I know that people actually do that. They're like, I did my 40 hours, so to speak, of streaming, and I have a commitment to my kids and my family to take time off. You have to balance that. So you're right with that. It's a good point about the fact that, and I think that CEO also made a same comment about the fact that it's all dependent upon the person and what's going on. You gotta know where you're at, because me with my kids out of the house, I have more time to play than others. I think it's also God put on me this conscience that makes me not spend more time. Good. If the guilt just starts welling up, like you spend too much time, too much time, too much time, too much time, get off. That's really good. Okay. Anyone watching this on YouTube, let us know your opinion, your thoughts. Post it in the chat below, and we'd love to hear from you all. And so that's great. Check out the further adventures of Kennethan by liking and subscribing and watching me live on twitch.tv/Kennethan.